Yeah, one thing that I actually stopped doing was posting my daughter and my kids on my Ken White Construction page. Rather, I think sometimes it's good to show like, hey, like we're doing like it's about family and we're doing some family stuff. But that's one thing that I definitely stopped doing was posting about family as well too. So I do relate with that. One thing that I find tough. It's interesting that you said because I know you're talking about family when you say, I don't care now. I'm at this point in my life where I don't care what other people think. And I agree with that. And I'm with you on that. That's like my motto. I don't care what else somebody thinks of me. But you're in the world of social media as well, too, where our success on social media is dictated by how much other people like us. So that's kind of a slippery slope, right? Because the best form of growing on social media, obviously, is be authentic, be true. Don't try to create some falsehood of who you are, who you think people want you to be. But at the end of the day, if people don't like Taylor White, Kenmake Construction, or Brian Hess, they're not going to follow you. So there is a sense of validation that you need from other people where it does matter what they think. So with social media, you kind of ride that fine line of I don't care what people think, but I also need to give people what they want as well too to find success on social media.
It's a really interesting dynamic for me, man, because from the beginning of my social media journey, I was trying to appeal to a different audience than everybody else, right? Because for me, it was a method to build relationships. It was a method to find clients. And in the beginning, dude, like somebody was trying to tell me, like, you got to be on Instagram to get. I'm like, how the hell is like, a Fortune 50 company going to find me? Like, who's from a Fortune 50 company going to follow a construction guy on Instagram? And the conclusion that I came to, man, was that the content is more important than the metrics. Like, what am I putting out? Because I'm sure you can relate to this. Like, if you're storytelling like the real stuff about the business journey, it's not that attractive. Like, people don't actually want to hear the real truth. And so, like, I tell our team here all the time, like, I will sacrifice followers, likes, and comments for authenticity. Like, I'm not necessarily worried about every person in the world wanting to follow our journey. I'm looking for the right ones, the people who want to come on the journey with us, the ones that want to do it the right way, the ones that are willing to hear the truth and they don't turn us off because, we're saying something that's not as, it's not as good of a headline, but it's the real stuff. And I think that that's one of the challenges of social media right now is it's very noisy with people that may or may not be doing it the right way, may or may not be telling you the whole truth about their journey because it's ugly, right? And so for me, man, it's been an interesting journey because I would argue that from a metric standpoint, we don't have as much success on social media as others. But from a revenue standpoint, we're lapping people. And so what is most important? It's like those relationships that are really going to bring value to your life, that are really going to create lifelong relationships and friendships. Those are the ones I'm looking for. And so, just think about it this way, like the masses, not that it doesn't matter, but the masses aren't going to move the needle. It's the certain people that are the right fit for your company, the right fit for your friendship, your relationship, your family. Those are the people that you're looking for. And so that's kind of how I've told myself is like, it's not that I don't measure it, man. Cause like anybody that says that is also not telling the truth. Like, cause I want to know like what we're sharing is actually connecting with people, but I don't get obsessed over it because I think that a lot of that is, it's vanity metrics. And I'm not saying it doesn't matter, but I would encourage those people who are starting out on social media, focus more on, being real and authentic and playing the long game of like building real relationships than trying to get, the most likes and followers, that may or may not matter. Like, I have friends, man, outside of construction that have huge followings but they can't put 100 people in a room if they have an event. And it's like, well, then does it really matter? Are those followers, really producing anything in your life? Is it really making a difference or having an impact? And so, I don't think there's a right or wrong answer to it, but that's how I've managed it over the years. Is like, I'm just going to try to tell the real story as much as I can. And even that's hard to do, man, because I just said it this morning on the podcast. Like, we don't share a lot of the really brutal stuff that happens in business. Number one, because it's somewhat confidential. Number two, like, I'm not looking for anybody's sympathy. This is the path that I chose. So I'm not looking for, to share my sob story of what I'm dealing with this week or next week with anybody. And so, like, social media is always going to be, a prism of reality. It's like everything's kind of bent and duplicated or accelerated versus reality. But like, our job is to do the best we can at telling the truth and being real with people. And like, hopefully that brings the best people with us on the journey.